we have had so many things. They're little tiny things, but I think they're significant. My eyesight has improved. With the QT Wave device, I'm able to see things better. It's it's not it's not something that has totally corrected my vision, but it has helped it to the point where I can drive, I can see road signs, I can see speed limit signs. I've got no excuses if I drive too fast.
Hey, Steve, thanks for coming and spending some time with me today.
Thank you, Tracy. I've been looking forward to this.
Aw, that's so fun. So can you tell me just a little bit about yourself prior to coming to QHS?
Oh, there's a lot to tell, but I'll try to confine it to things that are relevant. And uh, I am somewhat of an odd duck, I think, because I grew up here in West Texas in farm country, and my dad was a farmer. He graduated from Texas Tech right here in Lubbock. And I he then went on to Abilene Christian and graduated from there, got a master's degree in agricultural economics. So here I am at about 4 or 5 years old. I think I'm going to help my dad because he said he needed to put some gas in the car. So I went out to get the water garden hose and fill up his tank. I think that was a premonition of what I was going to get involved in later. He, however, didn't see it that way and tanned my little behind because he had to get the gas tank cleaned out before he could drive the car again. I then got interested in the early 1990s in frequency technologies, learned a lot about Nikola Tesla, and had some friends who were involved in creating alternative energy forms. And I got interested in doing this myself. So I actually started a research company in 1999 called Hydrofuel. And in that, we eventually came up with the idea of harmonic frequency to separate hydrogen and oxygen out of a water molecule.
Wow.
And we made trips to Washington, to other countries. Unfortunately, we didn't come out with a product and our funding dried up. So that was an interesting experience I had. I filed patent applications, and here I am. After I left that, I became a limo driver. Nice segue. But I have always been so interested in the frequency technology that makes our world a different place than people ordinarily think about. We are living in a world of frequencies, color, sound, and everything you can
Right.
imagine is involving frequencies. So when I saw Cynthia on a YouTube presentation back in February of 2022, I became instantly interested, and Janice became interested in the possibility of getting well. And so we became members of Quantum Healing Systems, and we are so excited to be involved in Divine Scripture nonprofit organization and to be able to think about helping the world be a healthy place to live.
Right.
So that's a little of my history.
Nice. I love it. You seem like a really smart man. So how were you feeling prior to coming here?
I was recovering from an accident that happened in 2018 where a lady ran a red light and smashed into my car. My head hit the windshield, gave me brain trauma, and I, resulting from that accident, I had seizures. My blood sugar was spiking, my blood pressure was spiking, and so I was recovering from that accident, and I um, wanted to find natural ways to overcome these problems. Um, Janice and I were married November 29th of 2021. So we're newlyweds,
Woo!
and we are like a couple of kids. Um,
Aw.
we are on an adventure, and I am so glad that she's an adventurous person. But I have had the blood pressure problems. I've had blood sugar problems. In 2009, I had congestive heart failure, and the
Wow.
doctor said, unless you have a heart transplant, you're not going to survive very much longer. And I said, I don't want to see that doctor again. And I'm going
Good
to
for
get a
you.
little bit spiritual on you right now. Little did I know that God was speaking to a pastor friend of mine, the same man who later married Janice and I. And God told him, I want you to go see Steve McFarland because he's in the hospital and I'm going to give him a new heart. He
Woo.
walked in the room and he said, I don't know other way to tell you this than God told me to tell you that he's giving you a new heart. I said, I receive that.
Yeah, that's a nice gift there.
6 months later, fast forward 6 months, and I went back at my heart function when I was in the hospital was nearly zero. It was 20% ejection fraction, if you know what that
Wow.
means,
Yeah.
but it was barely pumping. 6 months later, they tested my heart again, and my heart was in normal range. My blood pressure was in normal range.
Wow.
And so I just got up and went to work.
Nice. Did your doctor say, gosh, what did you do?
I don't know, and I really don't care because I did not want to see him. I wanted a doctor who said there's at least some hope for you. He wasn't giving me any hope.
Mm,
So I'm not anti-doctor. I just don't think that they are really sure of what they're talking about all the time
of course.
because they're still practicing medicine.
Mhm. True that.
Okay,
That's funny. So
all
then,
right,
so you had heart issues, you
I
had
did.
recovering from the accident with your head trauma.
Yes, I had seizures twice and maybe a third time that I don't know about. About in October of last year, I was in the bathroom and I passed out.
Oh gosh.
And Janice called the ambulance to the house. The EMTs came in, and I don't remember anything that they did. Janice said they were telling me, Mr. McFarland, we need to take you to the hospital. Is that okay? And I said, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. And I don't remember any of that conversation.
Wow.
So, so I went to the hospital, stayed a week, and the hospital could not tell me why I passed out, but they
Mm.
said, you're fine, you can go home. I said, okay, that's what I'd like
Bye-bye.
to do. I-
Awesome. So then when did you
Absolutely.
first get your device?
I, well, let me tell you first of all that Janice got a device in June of last year, 2022. And um, it had a little problem with the battery connection.
Mm,
But during the 6 days that she had that, amazing things started happening. She has been diagnosed with PTSD wartime. In other words, really severe. When she got that device, her PTSD dreams and nightmares stopped. She was able to sleep all the way through the night. She slept soundly. Instead of nightmares, she began dreaming wonderful dreams.
wow.
Now, Tracy, you may think I'm really strange when I say this. Recently, she's been dreaming that she's having babies. And
Well, you know what they say about the Q arc.
I know what they say, and it's not something conventional medicine would ever tell you about, but Janice and I believe in those possibilities. Even has a name picked out for a little girl.
That's awesome.
So I I want to tell you that we sent that device back because it was just a connection issue, and in August the 23rd is when Janice and I received our new devices like this,
Hmm.
and we have been wearing them just about 24/7 every day since. And um, we we have had so many things. They're little tiny things, but I think they're significant. My eyesight has improved. I still wear reading glasses sometimes, but sometimes I am amazed that I can see print and read it without these. And
Nice.
I had cataract surgery a few years ago, and the doctor said, I can help you see far or I can help you see close, but I can't do both unless you spend a lot of money. And I said, well, I don't have a lot of money, so help me see far. I can get reading glasses,
Right.
but with the QT Wave device, I'm able to see things better. It's it's not it's not something that has totally corrected my vision, but it has helped it to the point where I can drive, I can see road signs, I can see speed limit signs. I've got no excuses if I drive too fast. And I am looking forward to at least 2020 vision on the other side of the Q arc.
Right.
But this little guy has given me the energy to work, climb up on the roof, go up and down ladders, and things that a 76-year-old guy doesn't normally do because of the dangers. And I changed the light bulbs in the living room the other day, and I successfully got all the bulbs changed climbing up and down ladders. Um, so I'm just telling you, there's little things that I could not do before that I can do now.
Well, eyesight's a
I
huge thing, not a little thing. So that's pretty amazing. How about like your blood pressure? Did that ever return to normal?
yes, I took my blood pressure last night before I went to bed. It was 104 over 65, which
Wow.
is a little bit low, but to me, it's great.
Yeah,
I
mine's about that.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
fluctuates a little bit, but it's always in a normal range.
mm-hmm. That's
So
great.
that's another big deal.
I'll say
Same
anything.
thing with blood sugar.
Has your
Uh,
sleep improved?
my sleep has improved, except I get so excited sometimes I have to stay up late researching things. So,
That's funny.
but if I don't have anything going, I can go to bed at 10 o'clock and sleep like a baby, wake up at 6 o'clock and go again.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
Well, that is
And
fabulous that you can do that because not everybody
yes,
can, you know?
I know. I really do know.
So what are you,
And
besides a baby, what are you most excited about for the Q arc?
what I'm most excited about is that even though this little device has increased my energy level, I am looking forward to having the energy of a 30-year-old and doing even more than I did as a 30-year-old.
Well, now because you get to take all this wisdom and knowledge and experience and apply that to a youthful body. That's
Well,
exciting, right?
absolutely. Somebody asked me if I would like to go back to my high school days, and I said only under one condition. If I could go back to my high school days with what I know now.
Right. Yes,
Because
yes.
high school wasn't so much fun for me. I made pretty good grades, but uh, I didn't feel like I fit in.
Me too. I feel the same way.
I cannot picture that, Tracy. You seem to fit in very well. And I heard in previous interviews that you've only had your device about a month.
Since the end of March. Yeah, I got it at
Since
the end of
the end
March.
of March. My birthday was in the middle of March. So that gives me a a time frame to put things into perspective. So I think it's just wonderful what you are doing and how you are interviewing Cynthia. And I know you're going to be interviewing Dr. Alfredo and others. I, I, I just look forward to those interviews so much. I especially enjoyed the other day when the lady who had Lyme disease
Mm.
was giving her testimony, and I sent I sent that to a friend who has had all kinds of physical issues. And you know what she said? She said, I can tell this lady is real. She's not an actor. And that obviously what she is doing is helping to improve her quality of life.
Oh, massively. I mean, she went from a
Yes,
10 pain to, like, she said, I don't want to say a 1, but like a 1 plus. Like,
yes,
she's like doing so amazing. And I love how she leaned into the pain, knowing that it was going to dissipate and then move elsewhere. She didn't freak
yes,
out and go, oh, this isn't working. She knew that it was working. And that video was
absolutely.
amazing. And Deborah's came out today. Hers is really good as well, because she had a lot of autoimmune
Oh,
stuff.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing that as well.
Thank you. So let's go on this other side. I want to talk more about the Q your do-over. What are you gonna
Okay,
do? You're a newlywed and you're gonna
yes,
we're super close to the Q arc. What are you gonna do with your new life? Your do-over, as Cynthia says.
let me tell you, um, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I think Janice and I are going to get a travel trailer. I think we're going to go to the Q Arc in this travel trailer and find some place to stay in that area. And then maybe after it's over with, do a little vacationing that we
Nice.
haven't done in years.
How fun. That
That's
sounds beautiful.
that's
You can
just
take your
for
honeymoon.
starters. And then I am as excited as I can be to meet Dr. Alfredo and to discuss with him the things that he has come across with frequency technologies. I am very, very intrigued by that. One thing, since I grew up here in West Texas, we had water wells to irrigate our cotton patches. But even at that time, back in the 60s and 70s, I was aware that the groundwater level was receding and shrinking, and that we had to come up with other ways to raise that level. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there is as much water on the earth as there has ever been since creation. I
Well, I
study,
believe that,
yeah,
because where would it
well,
go? Right? I mean, it
even
goes from the earth to evaporating to the clouds and coming back down.
it evaporates. And some of it is absorbed and evaporated by ultraviolet rays, but there are heavenly bodies like asteroids that pass through our atmosphere, and they are freezing cold. And when they get into our atmosphere, they, guess what? Thaw out and turn into rain. And
Oh,
I was amazed when I looked this up. It's true. But we are running short of groundwater. And that's something that I have been very excited about getting involved in future. And I I really need my youth back to do that.
we all do. I mean, we all came here for
Yes,
this, right? We all are here just for this purpose. And that's why we
absolutely.
need to go through the QR first so that we can be in perfect condition
Yes,
and go and
yes,
do our work.
absolutely. That's why we're here, to help everybody we can help.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes,
That's funny. And just on the water note, so I live in California, and
yes.
a normal rain year for where I live is 16 inches. This year we got 34 inches.
Well, that's good. Uh, but I've seen the wildfires in California and other places in the Midwest, and that is a huge concern. And I know that even though California has put these canals in to bring the water down from up north, um, that's how they're such an agricultural society. And I think Janice is about to join us.
Oh,
I hear,
wow. Well, Steve, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. And I'm certainly looking forward to your part two,
thank you,
post QR.
Tracy. This is so exciting. And it's just the excitement is building and building and building.
Yes. And we're just beginning. And so we have so much to look forward to.
Absolutely.